Hi guys, and thank you for joining me with Arts for today. We are going to be doing another STEAM experiment, except this time, instead of a reaction, we are going to be doing leaf rubbings using leaves from outside. So I have a couple here. And we're going to be learning a little bit about how leaves work and how they use photosynthesis to create energy and how they change color. So to start out with this project, you're going to need some pieces of paper. So I just have two because my leaves are kind of small, so it depends on how big your leaves are. And I have two different kinds of leaves here. So this is a maple leaf that I got from my tree outside. This is from a deciduous tree, which means that the leaves will fall off in the wintertime. However, the other type of tree is evergreens, and those leaves will stay throughout winter. So those are like pine trees, and the trees with the needles rather than the big leaves like this. And then my other leaf is from a hibiscus plant outside. It's also a deciduous plant, so it will fall off in winter. But these are the two I have right now. So you can go outside and gather whatever leaves you have in your yard. You can do it from plants, you can do it maybe like from flowers or bushes, but just some type of leaf that you want to see the anatomy and what makes it up. And we're gonna do a leaf rubbing, which will allow us to see the parts of the leaf. So I placed my leaf underneath my paper, and I'm just gonna lay it on top. And I have three colors here, so I have red, orange, and green, but you can use whatever colors you want. So for this one, I'm going to use orange because lighter colors will allow it to show up better. If you use darker colors, the darker color will not allow you to see all the veins and all the areas of the leaf as well. So I'm just going to take my pencil and I'm going to lightly go over this. And as I go over this, I'm going to have to go a little darker on the edges, and it will show up darker where the imprint of the leaf is. So you may have to go over it a couple times. You want to make sure that you can get it as dark as you can without messing up the imprint of the leaf. And I'm not trying to color inside the leaf, I'm just going all around. It's not going to be an exact outline because the outline of the leaf will show up as darker than everything else. So it doesn't matter how exact you color in. And depending on the leaf, you may be able to see more veins or less veins depending on how thick the leaf is and how much detail is in the leaf you picked. So my maple leaf is showing up pretty well. You can see the veins in it. You can see the outline. Just gonna go over it to make sure that everything comes through. Alright, so now I have my leaf rubbing of my maple. You can see the middle part, and then you can see the outline here, and there's the veins of the leaf. And then I'm gonna go ahead and do my small little hibiscus leaf under here, and then we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna label the leaves. Because leaves have 4 main parts, and so we're going to learn about that a little bit. So I'm just going to do the exact same thing. I'm using red this time, and this is a smaller leaf, so it might not show up as well as my maple leaf, but it is showing up. And this one is formed differently. It has more ribs in it, it has more veins. So you can tell that it's a different kind of leaf. And leaves have one primary purpose, which is photosynthesis. And photosynthesis is when they get energy from the sunlight and turn it into energy they can use, like sugar and starch. And leaves will also help in gas exchange. So they will take the carbon dioxide in the air that we in the atmosphere, and they will turn that carbon dioxide into oxygen, which is what we can breathe. So they actually allow us to have clean air around us. So that is why if you are in a forest or outside of the city, the air you're breathing in is going to be much, much cleaner because of all the trees exchanging gas. So this one's a little bit less clear because it's smaller, it's a softer leaf. But now I have my hibiscus leaf right here. So this one's an orange and this one is red. So then I'm just going to take a pen I have to label it. And like I said, leaves have four main parts. So the first one is the apex, and the apex is just the top of the leaf. So mostly top of them. I'm going to label them on both. So we have the apex, which is the very top. On this one, it's going to be right here. It's the apex. And then the opposite of the apex is the petiole, which is right here at the bottom, which is where the leaf will connect to the stem and then eventually connect to the tree. So that is the opposite of the apex down here. Again, we have it, it's like right here, right across from the apex up here, and then we have this one. Then we have the midrib, which from the name you can probably guess what that is. It is the long middle part going through the leaf. So it looks, actually, if you flip the leaf over, you can see it better. It connects with the stem and it'll go straight through the middle of the leaf right here. This one has it more obviously. It's thicker than the other veins going through, all the way through there. And lastly, we have the ribs of the leaf. The ribs are the veins. Either one. And so this one, my maple leaf shows it better. It comes out, it connects from the midrib and will go out throughout the leaf so that all the sunlight and energy and water is spread evenly throughout the leaves. So this is our anatomy. Again, we have our apex, our midrib, the veins, and the petiole right here at the end. Okay? And the leaves right now, if you notice, are green, obviously, because it's summertime. However, if you go out in fall, you always notice that the leaves are going to turn orange or red like they did in my pictures, or turn different colors before they turn brown. That is because leaves are actually green because of the chlorophyll that's in them. And chlorophyll is a chemical, and when it comes in contact with sunlight, the sunlight will create a chemical reaction and allow the leaf to turn green. So in fall and winter, you can guess that leaves are not green. They lose their chlorophyll because there's less sunlight coming through. So the less sunlight there is, the more colors the leaves will be because there's no more chlorophyll to make it green. Alright, so this is a super easy leaf rubbing activity you can do. You can also do this with, if you just want to practice doing outlines, you can do this with coins. So I have a gold dollar and I can do it really fast. It doesn't take a lot of time. I'm going to use my green. And this is just an extra activity you can do if you don't have leaves around, or if you want to try to make imprints of other things. Imprints are really good to observe what's on certain objects and to allow you to learn more about them. You can label them, and it will allow you to have your own personal imprint of things. So if you wanted to do a coin, like I'm doing mine, it'll not show up as well, but then you have the 2 coins. You can see the outline, and then if you were closer, you'd be able to see the face of the coin. So this is just another simple imprinting activity you can do, but the main one that we are focused on is the leaves and learning about how photosynthesis works. and how it brings energy to the plants and how plants will use that. And leaves are just one small part of how trees work. So we've learned about how roots work before. This is how leaves allow us to breathe again, allow us to have that oxygen as they exchange CO2, and they allow for photosynthesis for the tree to grow. So that is all for our activity today. Thank you guys for joining me. If you do this experiment, please email it to us at info@artsphere.org, or you can hashtag us if you post it at Love Art Sphere Inc. So again, the links will be at the bottom, and I hope you guys have an awesome day. Thank you again for trying this project, and I hope you guys have fun trying.